Alright, so this is one of the first of many different mapping tutorials that I'm going to record, just for the sake of if you're absent, if you're sick, if you want to refer back to these skills at any time. Just remember that you've always got the support in your geography book, whatever it looks like, at the front of it. It goes through all the skills in different ways that I will. Okay, so the first session of skills that we're going to learn is symbols, grid and area references. We'll learn about scale, and direction and bearings go hand in hand. What I have here is a topographic map. It's just folded in half so it's not so big. This one's of Collie, which is in the southwest. We'll be going through that when we do our camp. I chose it because it's a scale of 1 to 25,000, so it's quite zoomed out. Zoomed in. A lot of detail. Easier to see, easy to learn with. Okay, so let's get into it. Symbols. Obviously referring to this part of the topographic map, which is the legend or the key, which allows us to understand what all these different markings are on the map. First thing I wanted you to be able to understand, if we have a look in more detail here, we'll see the semicolon which divides, say for example, railway, bridge and tunnel. Alright, helps us to determine what are the different markings along the same line, because they can often be confused. Okay, so for example, it says there railway, bridge, semicolon, tunnel. Then it has a marking that looks like this. Okay, so the first thing, if there's a semicolon, it's saying that railway bridge is referring to the first symbol here. The tunnel after the semicolon would be referring to the second one there. Now there can be multiple semicolons that divide different things. So for example, here we have an embankment, the first one, a cutting, the second one, and a culvert, the third one. So there we have 3 semicolons. Alright. The other very important symbol that you must understand, sorry about that, is the spot elevation, the height elevation. Okay, so here we see the spot elevation, the benchmark height, and here we see contour with value. Now, all those things tell us how to determine what the elevation of the land is, or how high the land is at that point. Okay, so for example, down here we have a contour line with value, 250 meters elevation at that point. And on the side here we have a benchmark. So at that point where the dot is, it's 235 meters above sea level. Alright, we'll use these figure out how to use these when we move on to elevation, but that's all you need to know as far as symbols is concerned. Okay, grid and area references. Now as you can see, the map is split up with these lines. Okay, 08, 09, 10, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, these are grid lines. I'll draw one here. Okay, this can start from anywhere really. they always go up and left to right. Okay. An area reference is a 4-digit number. Okay, a grid reference is a 6-digit number. Grid reference, so area reference refers to a whole area. Okay, for example, this block. A grid reference refers to a single point. Okay, the rhyme that you need to remember is you go across the hallway and up the stairs. Please remember it goes upwards. Common mistake is for people to go downwards. You'll see when you come to it. Okay, so for example, in this little thing here, what is the area reference of this square? Okay, so we go across the hallway. We look at which number it falls across. So it's to the right of the 33rd line, so line number 33. Okay, so the first 2 digits here are going to be 33. Now we go up the stairs, so which line is it above? Above line 23. Area reference 3323. Okay, now for the grid reference, the first 3 refer to the going across the hallway, or what we know as the eastings. The eastings are these lines here, across the bottom. And the northings are these ones over here. Okay, so the northings are these ones, the eastings are these ones. Eastings tell you how far east it is, northings tell you how far north it is. So these first 3 refer to the eastings, the second 3 refer to the northings. Alright, so with the eastings, the first 2 digits will be directly from the bottom here, so it falls to the right of the line number 32, so that's 32. Now you can imagine that there's a decimal point there. If you're looking at a ruler, it would be 32.7. okay, so you can almost divide it up into tenths. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so roughly 32.7. For the same here, for the northings, the first numbers would be 22. Okay, and then where does it fall? Is it, you know, a quarter of the way across, halfway across?
Are you actually talking to me?
22.5, roughly. We should do this more specifically with a ruler, to be more exact. So, say for example, they asked us what is the grid reference of Wilson Park School and Primary School.
Now, Missy, that would be...
So that would be this one right here. You can see these numbers. So it's obviously in, if we're looking for the grid reference,
These are just the normal brain table.
we know they've got 6. The first ones are going to be eastings, the second 3 are going to be northings. Okay, so eastings shows how far east, going across the bottom, across the whole way up the stairs. So first 2 numbers we know are 19 because it falls in this 19th block. Now next one, we get our ruler. Okay, we can see that the whole square is 4 centimeters across. Alright, now it falls on 3 centimeters. Alright, so this is 3 over 4, which is more 0.75. So it's like a 3/4 of the way across. So it's between 7 and 8. Alright, we'll just say it's closer to 7. So 19.7. That's how we find out exactly, and being very specific. The next one, we're going up the stairs. We can see that we're going up. Make sure you don't go down, because if you're going down you'd see it as 08, but it is actually in the 07 square. Now remember, going up, a lot of people go from here and put their ruler going down, see how far down it is. Make sure you're going up. So again, we can see that it is 4 centimeters in total, the box. So it is at 2.5. Alright. So halfway would be at 2. At 0.75 would be at 3. So this would be at about 6. So we're at 0.76. That's how you get a specific grid reference. Alright, the next thing we're going to look at is scale. Now scale refers to this number here, in what kind of detail the map is in. Now commonly you'll get different scales, such as 1 to 25,000, which is the largest scale that we'll see in topographic maps. More commonly we'll see 1 to 100,000, but you can also get anywhere up to 1 to 250,000. Now a common question that I get is, which is larger? What is the larger scale? Now most people think the largest number must be the largest scale. However, it's actually the smaller scale, because this is a representative fraction. Now if you take small fractions, for example, so 1 to 2 is the same as 1 over 2 in this representative fraction. So if you have 1 to 2 and 1 to 10, you have a half and a tenth. Now which is the larger piece? If you had it looking like this, you have 1 to 2, which is a half, and 1 to 10, which will be a little slither. Okay, you can see that 1 to 2 would be the larger. Okay, the rhyme that we can use to remember this is large scale, large detail. Small scale, small detail. So scale rhymes with detail. Okay, so if it's large scale, large detail, small scale, small detail. So on this map that we have here, we can see lots and lots of detail. It's very zoomed in, so it must be a large scale map. There's a good example in your book. Okay, so here we can see different scales. So this one of New South Wales, so I'll use this one of New South Wales here. We can see it's a very big area, but little detail, not much detail. So this must be a small scale. This one here, however, you can see lots and lots of detail, large detail, so it must be a large scale map. Alright, now last skill that we're going to do for today is direction and bearings. So to do this, we have the 16-point compass rose with our primary cardinal points: north, south, east and west. Everyone has their own ways of remembering these. Never eat soggy Weet-Bix or something like that. From here we have our secondary. You put an X through the cross. Okay. Here I want you to put your cardinal points before your, north and south before east and west. Okay, so northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest, north and south before east and west. Then we put lines again through these. Do this in pen so that I don't get stuck. Now I want you to put your primary, your cardinal ones before your secondary always. So we have north, northeast, east, southeast. A lot of people always write southeast, east because they look at it and left to right. East, southeast, primary before secondary. South, southeast, south, southwest, west, southwest, west, northwest, north, northwest. Okay, those are our directions. Don't get confused, make sure you know where you're going from and where you're going to. A lot of the questions can ask what is the direction of Canberra from Perth, or what is the direction to Canberra from Perth. Sorry, what is the direction from Canberra to Perth. Anyway, that's a different question, so make sure you know where you're going from and where you're going to. Now, with bearings, we're using the same rows, but here we also need to bring into account degrees. So north we have 0 degrees. East we have 90 degrees. South 180. And west 270. Now you know that halfway between 0 and 90 is 45. Okay, now the easiest way to do this, you don't need to remember exactly where all the numbers are. If you know that there's 90 degrees, 180, 270, halfway is 45, you can use simple addition to calculate the rest. So 90 plus another 45 would be 135. 180 plus 45, 225. 270 plus 45, 315. Okay, and you can also go even halfway in between there, but you rarely ever need to. There we have our simple questions. Now, just a couple of examples for the direction questions. Say, for example, we're being asked the direction of the sawmill, which is over here, from Amaru School, which is over here. Alright, looking at the wording of the question, make sure you know that you're going direction of the sawmill from Amaru. So where are we coming from? Amaru to the sawmill. A lot of people see sawmill first and then Amaru, so they'll do the direction this way and get the question wrong. Okay, so we know that west will be straight across, alright, south straight down. At a diagonal like this, at a 45-degree diagonal from west, we know that that must be southwest. Okay, this is in the middle of west and southwest. So we have say for example, Amaru is here, is west. We draw a line, there's southwest here. The school was the sawmill was there. Okay, so this is west southwest. Alright. Now, if they were asking the bearing, okay, we know that west is 90 degrees, south is 180, so 90 plus 45, 135, but it's in the middle here. Okay, so 45 divided by 2, 22.5. So if you do 90 plus 22.5, you'll get the angle here. 90 plus 22.5 is 112. We can just round it to 112 degrees. Okay? Simple. Remember that all these questions are going to be multiple choice when you do them. Keep that in mind.